Page 70, study. Well, we could call it an etude, same difference. Not sure what they're doing. They've got block chords throughout in the right hand. We've got to deal with that. And the melodies in the left, which is kind of nice. So I look it over. It's a page long, 4 lines long, or whatever. Treble bass clef to start with. 1 sharp in the key signature, so either we're in the key of G major or E minor. If you look at the end, we're here. We're in a G major chord. I'm guessing we're in G major. But go ahead and do the scales and arpeggios for both G major and E minor. So, yeah. And 2 4-time signature. Right hand first. Let's make sure we got these chords covered. We're here, G chord. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, okay. And then third major, it's 4 chord, because that's a 1 chord in G major. 4, just come up. And you want to be able to do this without looking at the keyboard too. Then measure 5 back to the 1. And then in measures, 7, you're hitting the 1 sus4. Remember 1 sus4? It's to where you take the middle note and you're playing a 4th above the bottom rather than a 3rd. You're spinning it 1, so it's a 1 sus4. And then a 5 7 chords. It's come down 1. If you don't want to do that, you can come down here. I don't know how big your hands are. And that, basically the chord sequence. Those are the chords you're using. Okay. Left hand, it's got the melody. You're starting here. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Just reach down. That's pretty much the melody. Let's go down to the last line. It's here. What they want, 4th finger? You don't have to. You can use 5th if you want. It's just going on. You'd have to do that because we want to connect them. So to prevent that, they're using 4th finger. That puts you in position for the end of it, and that's fine. There's different ways of fingering it. The fingering in the book is actually a good one. Just reach down. You're preparing for what's coming. Then we try and put the hands together. Well, the right hand is just 8th notes. Okay, no biggie, I hope. So once I have the hands together, then I'll go back over it slowly and get rid of any hesitations. And just work on those parts where you're hesitating. Don't keep going through the whole thing. And once I don't have any hesitations, I'll think about the articulation. Pretend you can connect these. Don't play them short, according to what's marked. If they wanted them short, they'd have made them staccato. But this, just play them. The right hand, or the left hand, are these slurs or phrases or both? Well, we got to figure out where the musical sentences are. Okay? So I think these must be phrases, the way they're written. So just lift up a little bit between each one. Lift up. Lift up. Yeah, just lift up between each phrase. It's handy because you're doing this in the right hand, so you can lift up with the right hand. So, as I played the last one, I lifted up. See, when you lift up between phrases, it's not done rhythmically. It's not, well, lift up for half a count or something. You feel it, and it just works out this way. It's easier just to lift up on that last 8th notes. If I were playing it really super slow, I'd lift up and then lift up. See, this would last longer if I'm playing slower, but at moderato speed, that should be fine. Then the dynamics, and they gave us 2. I wish they wouldn't do that because it's a little unrealistic. They're telling you for the top hand, play it soft piano, whatever soft is. And the bottom, they want that mezzo forte or moderately loud. My opinion, the way music normally works, you get one dynamic in the middle, and that applies to the melody wherever it is, and everything else has to adjust. So the melody is that, and this just has to be in the background. Now you have to be careful, because when you're doing this for a while, you'll get louder it'll just happen. It just automatically, by the time you're done with the first line, you're playing out way too loud. So be aware of that and keep that right hand down. Always check this right hand to make sure you're soft and under the melody. Now on measure 8, You have this, this. The left hand you can't do it. You play the note and you're done. This can try to get a little softer. And I don't know if it's an error in the music. I'm guessing it's probably intentional, although they're not very clear. That diminuendo at the end of the second line, I'm getting the impression they want you to stay there in the next line. So when you play this melody again in the third line, you're playing it softer, maybe a mezzo piano area than you did, because you came out this. Third line is the same thing but softer. I don't know. They're not clear. Another way of looking at it is, well, you finish the thought at the second line, and the third line starts a new thought. So I'm going to go back to what I was at the beginning. There's different ways of interpreting the music, and if professionals were to record this, I'm sure they would record it differently. Some would play the third line soft, and others would play the third line like it was at the beginning. So I leave that up to you and your teacher as the third line. Are you playing that mezzo forte or mezzo piano? And the last line, you have that swell. You're going to come right there. You look in the middle of the hairpins to see where your target is, and that's where you're headed. And that's that D. Up and down. Yeah. The right hand stays out of the way. Retardando at the end. Okay. That's sort of the dynamics they're suggesting. I suggest you get into the music and learn it and feel this melody. Because I don't want to play the whole thing at the same dynamic level, if I can help it. I like a little variety somewhere. So I think I would play at major 9 when the melody comes in again. I'd play that a little softer. How I would interpret it. Now speed, moderato, and again that's the overall feel. These things, I want to slow it down a little, but it's the melody we're after. We want the melody rules. It's what's going on here. So what's the melody moderato? 1, 2, 1, 2, somewhere in there. That's, I think, in my opinion, how it would go. I don't know. Just know at the end, the last 2 measures, all the time I'm doing this, I want to hear this. That's melody. So each of these got to get a little softer because this dies away. Takes a little practice. Let's play this together very slowly to check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do louds and softs. I'm going to try and play this right hand a little softer because you really need to hear the melody. I'll give us 2 counts. Ready and go and. Rest.